after 4 very long years, I'm now done with university, and it's been a difficult time for myself. It's not been very straightforward, like a conventional kind of 3 years course, hence why it's taken me 4 years to complete. But I wanted to make this video as it has been something that's been playing on my mind about my process along the way, all the kind of errors I made, and hopefully this video will help you if you're someone who's considering, do I go, do I not? We all have this kind of dilemma, especially 17, 18. It's a very difficult decision that we have to make, and I feel it's an unfair decision really to make at this stage of our life where we're still developing, especially as young men. A very difficult period to make such a huge decision, which can kind of, it definitely does impact the rest of your life in some way. And I've made videos before and had my opinions about university, and I could easily come out and say, still with that view, I think it's a waste of time, and I'll get on to this. I still have my certain types of views, but I want to kind of look back for myself at my process that I've been through. And I think this video would have just helped me so much if I came across it 2-3 years ago, before I was going, or even maybe halfway through the course looking for the answers. But unfortunately, for the large majority of us, we have to experience certain things in our life to learn from those. That's how we truly learn. We can watch all these videos, but a lot of the time we have to go through those things, and I've had to go through that, and hopefully you can learn and listen to the advice that I have to give you about what to do if you're in a similar situation. Maybe you're thinking about going, or maybe you're halfway through, you don't really like your course, you don't know what to do even with your life. I know that's the case. I'm 23, I've got a good vision of where I want to be, but I know for the vast majority of people my age, they don't have a clue what they want to do with the rest of their life, and this is not a problem. You shouldn't worry too much. It's just the way it is. Society tells us we should stick to a certain path, and for the vast majority of people, that's not the path that's going to make them fulfilled and happy in life. But I've been thinking about this a lot the last week or two, coming to the end, and obviously I look back, and as we look back, especially as we got older, we always think, it's always gone so fast, time's really getting away from us. And I've really felt this. I said this since I've been 21, 22, now 23, and those last few years have really gone so fast. But anyway, I'll get on to the kind of bulk of the video, and I'll give my overall view of what I would do if I was maybe 18 again and could roll back the time, because that's one thing you learn with age, is you would trade it all again to be back in that position with the knowledge you have now. But unfortunately, that's life, and that's how we learn. But overall, the first place I want to start with is I went to Nottingham University, and I live about 25 miles from this place. And for the vast majority of my time, I stayed at home. And the rationale for me doing this initially was because I was in a long-term relationship with a girl, and I had that fear that if I went there, I would probably end up breaking up with her. And logically, you would say, well, if you have that fear, you shouldn't be in this relationship. But me, very naive, 18, 19 years old, I didn't have that mindset. I took a year out previously, hence why I'm 23 now and just finishing, and didn't go, because originally I was meant to go to Sheffield, and I was like, oh, it's too far away, it's going to cause problems, we're not going to work. And I look back now and think that probably would have been a better thing for me, to move away from my hometown, to get out of it, and to see how I cope. And I think that's one thing I do encourage about university. I think that is a really good thing for a lot of people, because especially younger people nowadays, we live a very sheltered life, and you see that with people who don't go to university, who don't maybe move out for a while and kind of stay in their hometown for a while. They've not really developed themselves as a person, they're not developed a lot of skills, and they're kind of still the same person who they were when they kind of left school, and maybe they did an apprenticeship. And this probably is a better thing to do, really, in terms of financial. And a lot of people do, let's be honest, they go to university, waste time, party, spend a load of money, and still come out with no job and no idea of really what they want to do for the rest of life. It isn't the best idea for most people. We all know this anyway. But I think moving out and going somewhere completely far away from your hometown would have been good for me, and I didn't do that. And I look back and I think once I decided that I was going to go, that would have been the best decision for myself. I live in Leicestershire, and I kind of wish maybe I went somewhere nice. There's some nice places. Maybe I could have gone to Scotland. I've been up to Edinburgh a few times. Somewhere like that would have been good for me. Or down south, somewhere like Bath, Bristol, that type of area. A long way from home, which some people might think, oh, maybe not a good idea. But for me, I think that is good for you to be out your comfort zone, meet new people, and to see how you are standing on your own 2 feet at 18, 19 years old. I would have, if I could go back, I would definitely advise you, if you're thinking about going, to definitely consider options further afield from your hometown. And even if you are living away in a city 20 miles, 30 miles, you're always going to have that kind of comfort blanket. Oh, I can go back to mummy and daddy for food and drink and to do all my washing and all this nice stuff. Or maybe you've got a job there as well, which I did, and it's tempting to go back and earn some money on the weekends, which again, not a bad thing at all. But it's just going back to that comfort zone. And I've really realised over the last few months, it's not good for us, especially as young men. We need to be pushing ourselves every single day, getting out of our comfort zone, escaping, getting to new environments, meeting new people, being out of the house as much as possible. Something I really do a lot. It's not like I hate being here, but I think it's very important that we go out, socialise and grow. I think they are the days that I'm feeling best inside of myself. And I just think I should have been a lot more sociable, gone out a lot more. Like I said, I lived at home. First year and a half into my second year, I was in a relationship again. I wasn't really meeting new people, wasn't making a lot of effort. And I think I got to my second year, halfway through that, and I was like, you know what? I want to go and try it. But unfortunately, it's a double-edged sword, really. I started my kind of self-development, self-improvement journey at this point. It's halfway through my second year. I was 20, just about turning 21. I've been watching all these videos, reading all the books now, started going to the gym, started taking care of myself, started getting good sleep, drinking loads of water, started not going out as much, getting up relatively early, going to bed at a good time, taking care of my skin, all of this stuff. And that's just a polar opposite to the lifestyle at university. Anyone who's been there in the UK, probably in the US too, is very much, you go out, you get drunk, and you do all these kind of degenerate activities. You're up late, you're not really working hard, which unfortunately, when it comes to your time after university, you're not in a great position to go out into the real world and get a good job, because you've not developed yourself as a person, you've not developed skills, you've not kind of got that drive, desire to go and achieve anything, because all you've really done is drink, hook up. All of this kind of culture, degenerate drinking culture, is what university is all about. And I understand why people do this. 18, 19-year-old myself, wish I took that opportunity with both hands and made the most of it a lot more. Like, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed myself. I still went out quite a lot and did things that young men should do. But I think if I made that decision earlier, I would have enjoyed myself. I kind of just resented other people turning 21, and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this stuff anymore. And that didn't go well. I lasted about 2 months, and I came back home. It just didn't work well whatsoever. And then going and doing a placement year is what my plan was intended to do, but unfortunately, again, cut short. I didn't have the kind of, had the mindset. I saw people like Andrew Tate, I saw Iman Gadzhi, I saw Hamza. I saw these people we all know in the self-improvement space popping off, making, so they say, tens, 20, 30,000 pounds a month, living this lavish lifestyle, hopping from country in country, working from their laptop, inspiring young men. And I took a lot of inspiration from that, being a very impressionable young man. And I wanted a piece of that pie. And I was like, well, working a job, that's for bums, really. I don't really want to do this. I don't really enjoy this. I'm getting paid like not a lot, really, in comparison to what these guys are earning. So I don't really want to do this. So 2 months in, I'm like, fuck this. I'm not doing it anymore. Start the YouTube channel. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll go back for a bit for third year of university. Didn't go well at all. Had some bad news with my mum and dad, very ill over a couple of months period, very difficult for myself. My focus on university was just non-existent. The first 2-3 assignments that I had in my final year were just pretty much of a disaster. Had no put no effort into them really, had no inspiration, which was a shame that I let myself go. After a couple of years at university, I really did actually try my best, and I always have kind of been like that, especially over the last few years, to really try in everything I did. But with the combination of a certain life events and seeing what these guys were doing online, it just was like I'm just not motivated to do this at all. But I look back now and I'm like, okay, maybe I've wasted a bit of my time. I would have set myself up perfectly, graduating this summer, having done my placement maybe for a year, go and get a decent paying job for a couple of years, set myself up, continue this YouTube on the side, and then hopefully when the time comes, leverage away from that job and take this on as a full-time career. That would have been logical, in hindsight, the best thing for me to do. However, hindsight is a wonderful thing. It's great that we have it, but we can't go back in time, and you have to deal with what we have now. And I look back and, like I say, I feel I've wasted a couple of years in a certain regard. I feel I've developed myself, don't get me wrong, in the personal development journey. I've come a long way, and it's easy to say this, it's a double-edged sword. I probably wouldn't have gone through this if I'd carried on my course, I'd been living at university, living that lifestyle. It's almost definite I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have got into self-improvement. I wouldn't be hitting the gym consistently, taking care of myself, going to bed early, doing all of these good habits that I have developed because I didn't really live that lifestyle as much, and I cut it short. So there's good things from this. But overall, let's talk about university. If you're 18, 19, should you go? I mean, honestly, still, I don't think you should. If you could turn back the time, if I was 17, 18 years old again, or even a bit older and considering going, I would advise you not to go unless you need to go to do that career that will change your life, and you need that degree to get that job that gets you to where you want to be, or at least on the ladder. It's a stepping stone to where you want to be, and you're going to make the most of that, because there's a lot of intelligent people at university, but unfortunately a lot of people don't take advantage of this and really reach out to these people, maybe build a business, work on something special, use that network that a lot of people talk about at university. Unfortunately, a lot of people just don't take advantage of this. So I overall don't think, I would not advise, despite I think I'm in the position now where I should have used it to my advantage. I shouldn't have wasted that time and probably graduated a year earlier, been in a lot better position in terms of career to go forward now. However, I'm in the position where I've got to deal with the cards I've been dealt, and yeah, that's my overall view, that it's not worth it for a lot of people. I think you can still do very well, as proven. The people that are making money online, a lot of them are legit. If you look at their track record, a lot of them aren't as well. And I think there's a lot of other ways to make money. You don't need it anymore. And I think for the other side, like I mentioned, it doesn't set you up to be a good person, really. It doesn't set you up with the certain kind of skill sets to really go and tackle life head on, especially with the world, how it's changing every day. Speed is everything, and I don't think you learn a lot about personal kind of improving your life, becoming the person you need to become at university. And obviously there's the financial implications of that, getting into a lot of debt, which again I don't think is massive for a lot of people too, because realistically for the vast majority of people, they're probably not going to pay their student loan off. It's pretty hard to actually do so unless you actually go out your way and do it. So from that side of things, I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make out. It'd be like, oh, you're in 50, 60 grand of debt, whatever it may be. Realistically, unless you go out your way to pay it, or you're earning a very high paying job, which at the end of the day won't really affect you too much, you're not really going to be paying too much of it off that it's going to affect your life in any way. So from that point of view, probably not too much. I think it's more the time you are there, 3 years, 4 years, if you do a master's 5, whatever it may be, which you can use a lot more wisely and really work on yourself. And I don't think you do develop those skills that you need to develop to become a good person in the real world. Develop yourself as a young man or even a young woman, whatever it may be. But that's been my lessons that I've learned, my regrets maybe I'll call this video, because it's been on my mind. So I think it's a good way for me to get it out there and hopefully help you. Again, if you're in someone who's considering going or considering whether to continue, and if you are someone considering continue, I think that you definitely should. And yeah, see where you are at the end of that. Keep going with things on the side. Keep going with something that you're truly passionate about and can change your life, and have a plan. Always have a plan. That's very important. So I hope this video has helped you. If you want more information on this, how to master your mindset, my personal one-to-one coaching link will be in the description. If you could like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.